8,
You're watching
7,
Experience Comic Culture
6,
and Sales.
5,
Streaming live daily
4,
to Facebook, YouTube,
3,
Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Boom! Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're 11 days from Christmas. We hope you're all staying safe out there and enjoying this special time of the year with your loved ones. Mog just got back from a successful trip to Maui. And wow, she shared a panel with Trina Robbins and Gail Simone. How about that? She got to eat good food and see all our friends on the island. If you want to see highlights on that, check out Mog Park's Facebook page. That ends her con for the year. Fortunately, next year, she's going to start back up in Hawaii in February at the amazing Aloha Comic Con. If you're attending that, let us know. We've got a bunch of events that are happening outside the con that tie into it. So you can watch our page or get in touch with us and we'll get you on the list. Tonight, our special guest is Timothy B. Fling. His current Kickstarter has 21 days left and is fully funded. Okay, if you haven't checked it out yet, there is some incredible art there, especially by Erwin J. Arrozo. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It kind of gives it a heavy metal feel. Also joining us is Elite Comics' Ruben Rosas. And we've got a newcomer to the show, Fong Fong, who has joined us at the live shows at Fan Expo San Francisco and at the Los Angeles Comic Con. She was turning out some fantastic pieces of art for quick sketches, and we'll show that in a bit. Now, you also get to see how good she is with what she draws tonight. And as usual, you'll get to bid on it too. And of course, we've got a bunch of giveaways tonight. Some really, really cool stuff coming from Timothy, who was generous enough to put these up. And so you don't want to forget to put in #SketchUp in the comments. That will qualify you for those free drawings. All that is happening tonight. You're watching Mog and Mel on the YouTube channel, The Experience. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Grab yourself some dessert, and we'll get to the show. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Do us a favor, hit that follow button. Help us increase our followers. Doing so will help us to continue to bring you wonderful content like the original art experience with Nick Barucci. And we've also got Fat Jack's Comic Crib, Talking Shop with Miss Jen, Comic Collectibles, The Devil's Advocate, The Dan Whitland Show, Minute to Skim It, Mint Hunter, and a lot more that's coming your way. Okay. Now tonight we have Ruben Rosas, who's been with us for a while. How you doing, Ruben?
Doing good. Luckily,
right.
I hate to say it, but I'm kind of glad I missed LA Comic Con, knowing how everybody's getting sick now.
Oh my God, you will not. It is incredible how much people I keep hearing that are getting sick in there. You know, like I said, Lewis, who was supposed to be here last week and this week, just couldn't make it. He has it bad, going through a serious cold plus pneumonia on top of that. I feel for him. I'm praying for him that he gets better. And then Christy, who was supposed to be here tonight, canceled out on us on the last minute. Now, fortunately, I was able to bring in somebody else, and we'll get to Fong Fong in a minute here. But Ruben, what do you got going for us right now? What's on your drawing board?
So I started this Digithoris a few weeks ago, over a month ago almost now, I think. Yeah. And I never finished it, so I figured I've been knocking some out here pretty well, so I'm gonna be working on this Digithoris tonight.
Well, Digithoris is one of my favorite characters, so I want to be watching that real tightly to see what you do on that. I don't know.
Nice.
Maybe I'll be able to get something in on that.
Digithoris.
Yeah.
Awesome. The classics. Right. We're doing classics right now.
Yeah, this will be interesting, and we'll get to that in a moment. And Fong Fong is filling in for Christy, who was with us in San Francisco and LA, and she was doing a wonderful job at the live show. A lot of you are not going to be familiar with her, but I was able to scarf up a couple samples. If you have that, JD, you can show that up. Every time she finished a piece, she was getting a lot of oohs and ahs in the room. And so incredible. You're going to see like what she turns out in here. But what are you working on, Fang Fang?
I don't have the camera facing so
you can
I
just,
only control here.
Yeah, that's fine. That works too. But what character are you working on?
Working on Black Cat.
Okay,
Black Cat.
there you go. She's going to be doing a Black Cat on that. Ruben is going to be starting off. We're looking for a $75 bid for his. This is Supergirl eating a mountain of food. That was the request. So you see how clean that looks. Okay.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. Okay. And here, this is
Cowboy Nightwing.
Cowboy Nightwing. Okay. All right. So that kind of gives you an idea what you're gonna, the kind of work you can expect from Fang Fang there. Right now, she's working on Black Cat, right? And what did you want to start that out? What do you want your bit to start out at?
I don't know. I'm first time here, so I don't know.
Okay, let's try 50. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay, are you comfortable with that? Because it's whatever you're comfortable with. Okay.
More than better, of course.
Of course, more. It's up to you if you want to go higher or better, right?
Yeah. How about anyone else? How much is one star?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out. But we want to know what you want to start it out at.
Usually, some people it ranges from 50 to 100.
Right.
That's a starting bid.
Okay, I can do 50 1 star first time.
Okay. Yeah. See how it goes. It will. Sometimes it goes crazy. Okay, so we've gotten bids all the way up to like 250, 300. Okay, it's not all the time, but sometimes it does get up there. It's kind of crazy. Okay, all right. So we got that. Don't forget to put in # EXP SketchUp. We've got some pretty good giveaways tonight, and we will go over that later on in the show. But right now, let's get to Timothy B. Fling from Earth Dog Studios. He's got a Kickstarter running right now. And if you haven't checked it out, you need to check it out. Because Water Wars 2288 has got some incredible art. When I've reviewed it myself, I felt like I was reading, going through like, oh, look at that page. Who did that artwork?
This one is by Renan Shodi. He is a Brazilian illustrator. He did issue number 3.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah,
and
he's
I think Erwin Arazo, he's one of your regulars.
Yeah, he's one of my regulars. He and I have done a book together. And actually, I think when we get to the giveaways, that's one of the ones we're going to give away tonight is the book that Erwin and I did together. Okay. And, I'll be the first to admit my writing might not be the best in the world, but I think Erwin's artwork can make up for any of the shortages in the writing. It's some of the best art in the world, I think. And of course, I'm a little biased because I work with him, but somebody said earlier, it has sort of a heavy metal kind of feel. And I agree.
Right. It does. Right. Because to me, it's reminiscent of what I used to read out of heavy metal. Heavy metal, Mog and I were talking about it earlier. Right. And we were trying to define like what that magazine was covering. Right. So my definition was everything but superheroes. Once in a while, they would do superheroes, but a lot of times it was like everything else. They did cyberpunk, they were doing horror, they were doing erotica, all kinds of stuff. And that's what drew me to the magazine back in the 70s and the 80s, because they were doing stories that were as compelling as the stuff that I was reading as a teenager in Marvel and DC. Right. So it felt like that my reading at that time, or the stories that I was starting to enjoy, was just starting to like cross over to be like more mature, if lack for a better word for it. But yeah.
I have a question.
We're gonna take a look at that.
I have a question for
We're
me.
gonna take a look at your Kickstarter and kind of get a really good look at some of the art in there, right? Because when our acquaintance Martina Rossi had referred you to us, right? I had no clue who you were or what you were about. And then when I clicked on that link to that Kickstarter, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is beautiful." I said, "Wow, this is really, really good." I was falling in love with those Arosa covers.
Yeah.
And I go, "Wow, okay, here we go. Yeah, let's do that now." You're fully funded. You've got 20 days left. You've already broke a few stretch goals in there. Let's scroll down a little slow there. You can see some of the covers. Now, briefly, the book is an anthology book, right?
Right. What you have here, this is the collected trade paperback of the first 4 issues in the Water Wars series. And there's also 2 new short stories. Total, it's about 22 pages of new material.
Right. That's a nice touch when you do these collected trade paperbacks. Give them something new in there as well.
Right, because I was worried, I want to pick up the people, hopefully, that bought the first 4.
Right.
The series of the Water Wars, they tend to focus on female protagonists. This is something that happened kind of accidentally. That wasn't really the plan, but we've sort of got known for that now, and we ran with it. There's 3 primary female characters. And what it is, you mentioned it being an anthology. It's a series of short stories, which you don't necessarily have to read them in order, or you can even just read 1 or 2. You don't necessarily have to read them all for the thing to make sense, if you know what I mean.
Right.
It's very similar to heavy metal in many regards.
Right. Yeah. Look at that. That's
a great
beautiful.
And by the way, I think that's one of the giveaways too. See, we got that book with the chrome logo.
Oh, fantastic.
Can you see the chrome maybe a little bit, right?
Yeah. The sample you gave me, I think was.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have the chrome on there, but that's.
Well, yeah. What you see, the representation, it's a 2-layer printing process by which the upper layer is reflective.
Right. Look at that's beautiful. All right. And then also with the giveaways, we're also going to be giving away a set of like is it 8 covers? Is it? Yeah. There you go. Look, wow.
Yeah, that's the set. Currently, we're in the middle of this promotional tour, right? So I'm making these appearances. Thanks so much for inviting me to come on the show. And we have these packages, which are essentially primarily used as Kickstarter rewards, but I have promotional versions, which we can give out in giveaways.
Now, that's the way how you plan it.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, because your timing is perfect. I also do some libraries and stuff like that, but I would much rather be with you guys. And I'd heard of Mog before because I'm a little bit friends with Rob Maltari.
Oh, okay.
Well, he recommended Mog. And also we lost Fong, I think, but I've been following her as well.
Oh,
wow, what a small world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very, very interesting there. Yeah.
I think it's the same one. Great question, Steve. For the Water Wars series, it is released in comic book stores. It's anthologized in Planet Comics from Antarctic Press. So the first issue and second issue, like they're a good bit behind me. It's about a year behind. So number 1 and number 2 were out, and part of the Erwin Arosa stories were in 2 issues. I think there's 4 or 5 total that are out now. And then number 3 will be out next year sometime. But the easy way to do it, like all the stuff's available now through me. It's not, I started releasing them through Kickstarter, and I've done much better that way myself.
Right. And you have a website where people can go and get this, right?
Right. It's earthdogstudios.com, and we publish a bunch of titles. It'd be fair to say that our most popular one is the Water Wars series, which we're talking about tonight. And I also make the Cryptid book. Maybe you guys heard about the Call of the Cryptid. That was a pretty successful Kickstarter too. And by the way, that's an Erwin Arosa book also. And he does the interiors as well. And it's just crazy, twisted sci-fi like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits. It's real mind-blowing stuff.
Man, I'm gonna have to take a good look at that and see what check out that website, see what you have on there. I want to say hello to Steve Vendetta. Thanks again for coming on board. Philip Bryan, Crom Alaton, I think that's how you say that. You're new to the show, so thank you for coming on board as well. And so
hey, isn't Crom like from Conan? Don't they say by Crom?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You know what? It's 2 things now, because it's Crom in the Conan series by Robert Howard.
Yeah.
I know it because I'm playing the video game, to be honest with you. There's a Conan video game. But also, he's the mascot of the comic-related Madness channel. There's another channel out there. I occasionally do a show over there also. So they sometimes use Crom as their, I guess you'd say he's the mascot.
I see. So how long have you been doing Water Wars now? How much of a time period are we looking at? Is that like 3-4 years now?
Yeah, probably. It's the first one came out in 2019. And I had made some other indie comics before, and helping to learn it, I guess I would say. I published it was a robot comedy called Socket. Okay. And it wasn't really taken off, right? So we said, hey, well, let's try some of these, a little bit more of a sci-fi angle. And that became Water Wars #1. And right away, like at conventions and stuff, people were like, hey, this is good, And so, I always double down, put out #2, #3, #4, and actually #5 is in production right now. But #5 will not be in time for this collected trade that we're talking about on Kickstarter. And it was about the right time for a trade, right? It's going to be 148 pages. It's thick.
Yeah, that's a good amount to get in there. And what is your what are you asking for that in your Kickstarter?
It's 29.
Wow, that's a deal. Okay.
Yeah, and comes with some pretty cool upgrades now because we're hitting the stretch goal. For your $29, you get the upgraded book with the Chrome logo. Mm-hmm. You get the map, and the map is also printed on a reflective surface. We call it the radioactive map. Okay. It comes with the a trading card, which is the chrome-plated trading card also. We have sort of, let me give you an example of that. It looks sort of like that. See how it's on like a reflective surface? I don't know if you can see the alien there. That's an Irwin card. Wow. So you get the card, the map, and the Chrome book for $29.
That's a steal. Now, is that the stretch goal rewards that have already been unlocked?
Yeah, that's the ones that we've already done. And if we get to, I think 5,000, we're musicians over here. So if we get to 5,000, we're going to grab our guitars and we're going to play an acoustic song live on the air. I know. It's a little funny, right? Because
but it makes it fun,
Yeah,
fun.
We're getting a kick out
what everybody else is thinking. Okay, so there is somebody else that did something similar to that. They actually created a tune for their Kickstarter, and I don't know if you're familiar with her, but her name is Carissa Grant.
Oh yeah, sure, I know Carissa. Yeah.
Yeah. So she came up with a tune, I think from her issue 1, and she's been like using it since then in her Kickstarter videos. But man, when you can add something else special like that, I think it's like really, really cool. It's not maybe like a physical reward, but it is quite entertaining to say the least on that. So yeah,
we're big songwriters over here. So it also includes each short story. It's like I say, it's 9 short stories, comes with a song with it. So for the digital folks, there's 11 songs.
Oh my God.
And so what's neat, Mel? They match the material. I think you might like it.
Where is there a place where I can go and listen to it? Or
yeah, they're on YouTube. They're on YouTube.
All right.
They have what they call a handle now. You can of course search it by Water Wars, but if you want to find it by me, the handle is @Timothy Fling.
Okay, there you go. So if you guys want to check that out, head over to YouTube and search for that. Right, I know that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, thanks for letting me mention it. I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be a terrific time. If you happen to stumble across this being played live on the air, feel free to jump in and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you thought.
All right, now Steve Vendetta is asking, what songs do you have in mind, Tim?
Well, I'll tell you, Steve, we had problems before with my YouTube channel and the music. And what happened was even a small snippet of a melody can get your video pulled down. So what we started doing is writing our own musical material. And it's everything from nautical theme songs to, robot blues songs. There's all kinds of weird songs. So what we're going to do for the live one is probably something... maybe something along. It'll be me, a keyboard player, and a guitar player, and it'll be just instrumental, and it'll be like a dual harmony, kind of like an acoustic version of Iron Maiden, if that makes any sense.
Acoustic is hard to listen to now on the radio unless you're listening to the right channel. So that will be really a nice treat to listen to again.
Yeah, and we have paired up with this amazing woman vocalist. She sounds incredible. So if I can get her to join us on this project, it'll be, like I say, it's sort of an offhand little thing. Hey, we're going to make this little song. Yeah. But the people that I'm bringing in, well, you see the kind of art people that I bring in.
Yeah, you got good taste.
Yeah, it's these kind of people on music, and they're hitters.
Wow. Okay, that sounds really exciting. I hope it gets to that. So we can get to that.
Thanks so much, Mel, for letting me mention it. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. You know, and whatever else you want to bring on, because so we touched on that. You got YouTube. Okay, you've got a website. You also have a TikTok. Is there anything happening on that?
Yeah, on the TikTok, I do two things. I do the Collector's Corner, which is, it's a little show for comic book collectors.
Okay.
In which we look through, it tends to be Silver Age monster horror issues, and sometimes black and white horror mags from the 70s, stuff like that. Yeah, and once a week,
right there.
Yeah, man, I think you might like this. And also once a week, I do the podcast over on the Creative Cranium, where I interview creative people about how they made whatever they made, which I would love to talk to any of you guys. Please consider this an invitation.
Oh, there you go.
Usually it's myself and 3 people. Actually, that's how it kind of came up with Martina, because I was doing the show over there. But, she doesn't speak English too well, is my understanding.
I hear that from a lot of people, even Fung, right, tells me that. But when I speak to her, and I spent half a day with her yesterday, but I understood her.
I can catch you what you're saying. If you just talk too fast, I have to pay attention on my art and then listen to you at the same time. It's kind of hard for me.
Understandable. Okay. So I don't know. One day, we even asked Martina if she would come in. I know it's super in the early in the morning for her because she's out in Italy. It's something like 4:00 in the morning. And then she's afraid that she wouldn't be able to either stay up or wake up in time for that.
We'll give Martina a quick shout out here. She is an amazing colorist, and
thank you.
I have to recommend her very highly.
All right. So. And we have her doing our War Angels cover. Okay. So she did one for this is a great segue too, because we brought her up. Nice. But on this show, we will be offering up. I have 2 of these available, and we just picked them up at the LA Comic-Con. That's the giveaway. One of the giveaways we're doing is that War Angels pencils. Okay. Now it's just a copy. Okay. But you can see the kind of detail that Mog puts into it.
Yeah, right. I love it.
The other thing that we're doing is tonight, and like I said, I have 2 of these available, is the War Angels Omnibus, which I believe captures the first.
Wow.
9, right. That's Martina's colors on there. Okay. And it was actually one of the better selling covers from MWP. Okay. And I think it's because of that. Christopher Brian Dorsey has asked for the team to come back. So we just finished doing the cover for War Angels number 10. I would love to show that to you, but I haven't gotten approval yet from Christopher Brian, so I'm going to hold off on that. But if you like that cover, wait till you see the next one. Okay. So pay attention. We've got that coming out. That Kickstarter is actually going to come on next month. So you get a chance to look at that. Okay. But anyway, if you want that omnibus, it's got over 200 pages of story in there. Okay. Let me say that again. It's got over 200 pages. Okay. So it's $40. If anybody wants that, you can just go ahead and claim that in the comments. All right. It's going to be a great Christmas stocking stuffer, but you're going to need an extra large stocking for that. Okay. So
that was funny.
What's that?
It was pretty good. I was laughing at your pun whatever thing you just said.
All right. So let's see. Sometimes I kind of hate when you do that, Mark, because then I lose my train of thought.
Oh, Christmas. Get it for stocking. Right? By the way, guys, I did read the story inside, and it is good. It gets better.
Oh, the War Angels? Yeah. I read it too. When he provided us the PDFs, and it is pretty interesting. So yeah, but he writes kind of like in a movie script format. So the story has that kind of a feel for that. Right. So with Mel, you, Timothy, what kind of writing?
Mel. Yes. Fang Fang wanted to say something.
Yes. You done?
I just finished the pencil part. Okay. So I'm gonna do the black and white.
Okay.
All right. And when you're talking, I everybody's introduced their own project. Can I introduce mine too?
Yes, sure. Go ahead. Take a few minutes to do that.
I have 3 projects finished, all my original stories. Mm-hmm. And check my ink so you can get more information about that. So that's it.
Okay. And we'll at the end of the show, I'll ask. You'll tell us like how they can get in touch with you and how they can find you on the online. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll save that part for
because you talk about the crowdfunding stuff. I just have 3 crowdfunding, so I want to talk about too.
No worries.
Yeah.
You will have your time on there.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so Timothy.
Okay, I want to back to my work. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to be here to listen to everyone talk about crowdfunding.
Okay. No worries. So Timothy, getting back to you and Water Wars 2288 and the rest of your projects, right? We know you're a musician, right? But are you a writer as well, or are you transitioning into that? Or
Right. I'm well. Since you asked me, I was a musician ever since I was a little kid, and my first, I guess you'd say, my first stab as a creative person, I was a musician for probably 9 years or 10 years, where I did it for to try and make a living doing it. This was, I don't want to tell you guys the year because then you'll know how old I am, but I will tell you that it was at the very beginning of the metal years. And, in those days, like it would have been in the coming up years I played with Metallica and Anthrax and some of these half decent bands and some smaller ones too, like Armored Saint and Metal Church, if you know who they are.
Wow.
Yeah, not necessarily giant names, but I had a small tour that went along the eastern side of the US. Yeah, and with 4 guys, we slept in a van sometimes and drove to gigs. Yeah, and now
those are for the fun days,
dude. So you're more of a heavy metal artist then?
Yeah,
that kind of explains the look and feel of Water Wars.
It does. I am a closet metalhead, and I wish I could brag to you and say, and look, that's how I made my $1 million. I'm a record selling machine, but listen, man, that isn't what happened to me. Okay. And pretty early on, by the time I was 23 or 24, I started to realize this isn't really the lifestyle that I want, and it would be.
What is it? Is it like a very drifting vagabondy, like nonstop work, move, no rest?
A lot of sleeping in cheap motels, and it wasn't very luxurious.
You have a view, have story.
Yeah,
I got to meet great people though, and I got to meet a lot of cool musicians.
Yeah, that's the experience you want. You being through when you were young.
Yeah. And that's what I tell Mog now. She doesn't understand why I don't want to travel. It's not like I hate traveling, but the traveling we do is a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know who handles most of it?
Who?
Me. Okay. And I'm just getting tired, right? I'm guessing that I'm about as old as you, Timothy. I may not look it, but I understand the period that you were talking about. I grew up liking and loving the comics in the 70s. That's my era. That's the stuff that I like the most.
Mel, I watched last week's show, or maybe 2 weeks ago, where you guys were talking about the Iron Man #1, and I thought, okay, he's a comic collector too, so we got a couple of similarities.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of interesting because you mentioned that you got that Silver Age show.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be interesting to check out as well.
What we do in that case is, we're looking into short form video. They're little 60-second previews of collectible books. I used to be in the collectible business a little bit as well. I've worked for auction houses and that kind of thing. Hey, I got to mention Steve's comments. Steve, you're mentioning some great bands. I'll check out this Ritual. Yeah, I love Fate's Warning. We actually played with Fate's Warning once.
Yeah, he says he's nothing, but listening to him talk in the bands that he's mentioned, he's something.
Well, that's sweet of you to say. You know these bands, but I think a lot of people might not.
Yeah, so that'll be very interesting. Anyway, don't forget to put in # EXP SketchUp. We'll be looking into those giveaways. And remember, I've got 2 of those War Angel Omnibus trades, $40 if you want it. There's only 2 left. MWP doesn't have much of those left. They've got a bunch of the other covers, but they're very low on that particular cover from Mog. We're going to be right back, so don't go away. We'll be here with Timothy B. Fling talking more Earth Dog Studios.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
Yes, Timothy, you can share a link on there if you put that into private chat, and we can go ahead.
I put it in I think I put it in the comment.
Okay.
That's a music sample if he wants to.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if you can get that, JD, and we can give a listen to that.
I can put it in the private too.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for everybody for coming back. We're here with Timothy B. Fling, and bringing up in the back there we've got Fun
cool.
And Ruben Rosas, and Mog Park is actually doing a drawing today. Yeah. She's working on a Deaf Dealer. Let's give us a little preview of what you got going so far, Mog.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me see.
Can we see what you have?
Yeah, like this.
Okay. All right. So there you see, she's got
he's on a horse, and then he's gonna have like his axe thing sticking out.
So
and right now
you're a classic death dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Ruben, Dejathoris coming. Ooh, pretty face on Dejathoris there.
Wow.
So Ruben, did you just say you've been working on this about like kind of a week ago? You started.
So I started a few weeks ago. I just kind of did the sketch, and then I didn't finish it during the same period, and I just left it.
Is that inking? Because it like the eyes and the face is dark.
Yeah. So I used the ink pens to do the eye shape, and then I think I was talking about it either last week or the week before. How I have this old dying brush pen. And so what I do is I kind of use that to give a little bit of eyeshadow or whatever you call it.
Oh,
so it kind of
that natural hair feather kind of.
Yeah, it kind of feathers it because with ink it's very sharp. So
yeah,
helps to give that feather look. All right, and Fung, let's see what you've got so far.
Okay.
You do faces exceptionally well. I do like your faces.
Wow.
Looks great.
There you go. Nice hair on there.
Yeah, I like the hair.
Nice flow in the fur.
So now it's inking from pencil?
Yeah, I'm inking now.
Wow. What kind of tool are you using for the ink?
I use this.
A micron? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice little standard that everybody likes using.
Paper.
Bristol smooth.
I like the smooth texture.
Yeah.
So you can mark a color on it later. After you erase the pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. The quality is quite good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it Bristol smooth. It's really good. Yeah. Good choice.
Looks great.
Where are you, Mog?
Huh?
I like your background. There's a toys back there.
Yeah.
I like it. You
Mel collection.
It's of course they're mine. Of course they're mine.
I'm actually not attached to materials. It's very hard for me to be attached to an object. It's easy to be attached to a living thing, but I don't know why objects are very difficult for me to get attached to, unless they have a specific meaning where, like, my grandmother gave this to me or something like that. But yeah.
So and it's kind of weird because when we're at the shows and stuff, and then people come by and they give her gifts, and she appreciates it and everything. But I'm going, wow, why couldn't I get that?
Yeah, he appreciates it more. So
yeah. But let me get back to he's our special guest. Okay.
I think Ruben, yours is 50, right?
75.
75?
Yeah.
Right.
And then my Frazetta, I think Mel, you told me that this already is a very exclusive.
Yours is starting out at 75. Those Death Dealer blanks, they're more expensive than the other ones as well. So yeah, we're gonna start that out at 75, and Fung has hers starting at 50. So they're still looking for an opening bid on all of that. So if you want to place a bid on any of those, just go ahead and say so in the comments. And we have a bid on the Black Cat from Stevie B. Thank you for that. So now if you want to take that Black Cat away and bring that home yourself, we are now looking for a bid of 55. We do take those in increments of $5. Okay. And at the end of the show, whoever the winners are, whoever has the high bids, we pass that information over to the artist, and you will complete that transaction with each other. Okay, so all that money will go straight over to the artist. Awesome. Thanks again, Stevie B. So we're looking for a bid now of 55 on that, and we are still looking for an opening bid on Ruben and Mog. Okay, so with that, hopefully I don't get interrupted again. Getting back to Timothy.
It's okay.
I'm like more interested in like the writing side, because eventually we want to do our own projects as well, where we put out our own books, and we've got several stories in the back that we've thought about. But so, Tim, how did you? I think for you as a songwriter, it comes like a little bit easier. But is there what do you stick to? What do you try to do like within your writing when you write these stories and dealing with the sequential pages and the artists, right? How does that work for you?
Well, I try to make it, visually interesting. I noticed that sometimes comic book writers, they tend to clog up the pages with a lot of words. Hey, I'm the writer, I'm going to fill up the page with writing. But you got to remember, it's really the marriage between the two, right? So we do a lot with silent panels. We got one silent story, and we try to include in every story what we call an emotional component. Some of the stories are kind of sad stories, in other words. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned it in a good way, because it is very similar to songwriting. We have said before in the tag material, the advertising material says Water Wars 2288 is a post-apocalyptic tone poem. And what they mean by a tone poem is that the first page and the last page of the short stories are thematically linked. You'll see when you look through it, but like it starts with her walking in the sunrise, and then the last panel is her walking out in the sunset. And this type of thing, one, it's very happy, one, it's very sad, or this one's very peaceful, this one's very violent. And we always try to have like a little, there's a color shift that goes with it. Like if it starts very warm, it'll end on cool. So these are examples that I'm trying to suggest of the visual medium that most writers might typically pass over. And by the way, there's not that there's anything wrong with someone else's style, but I very much embrace the visual art medium. And I stumbled into it. I came through animation. I had been writing animation pitches, they call them, where you try to get a animation project launched. And by the way, I did it 3 times, and I was rejected all 3 times.
But you know, Timothy, because the way you do the color mood is so interesting. I was actually about to say, in the conceptual art world, like game and the animation, they do go that way, where they go by color mood. They do color mood storyboards as well. So you're already doing the right thing. It's almost amazing.
I didn't actually know that. It's just something. And by the way, I feel like I have to give him a shout out here. This is something I learned from working with Erwin. And the way that I learned it, we're okay to talk shop a little bit, right?
Yes, we definitely want to talk shop a little bit.
The story was it was one of the very first Water Wars stories, and it was a short that was going to be designed for Free Comic Book Day. It's an 8-pager. They were costing me like 80 cents, and I was going to hand them out. This was Baltimore, 2019.
Okay.
And the story is, it's about a human being who's kidnapped in this human robot war. And the robots do this surgery on him and make him mechanical and remove his free will, right? So it's kind of like a grim science fiction type story. Yeah. But it starts with sort of this gritty Vietnam sepia tone orange, and then it transfers into the robot world, and it's sort of like a blue steel cool image. And the very first image is him as a human coming over the top with a gun, and the very last image is him coming back over on the robot side as a robot, and they like match a little bit, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
And by the way, I'm trying to give Erwin the credit here, because he came up, of course, with the color shift, and I said, wow, we should remember this for the future. And like, how does this transfer into something like the Water Wars? I'll give it, like I said,
brilliant.
Oh, thanks.
No.
Well, and the new one is, like I say, we're talking shop. It's okay if I talk about a spoiler, right? This is the Kickstarter for next year, so they'll forget by then. But this one, very typically, these are robots in this story, and there's a lot of females as well. So this one's no change. It's a robot female, and she's a miner on a planet out in outer space, and she's drilling for a mineral, right?
Okay.
The first panel is this, like Saturn comes up behind her and it's sunrise, and there's these brilliant, it's like this desert, and it's sort of like a saturated tones, where it's like sort of almost like pastel tones a little bit, and like a very dull shimmer on her armor and that kind of thing. But then, of course, she goes through meeting this guy, and the guy gets killed, And the last panel is her. She's dropping the guy's photograph, and she's just got her face in her hands. And it's the one day later, and the sun's coming up again, but it's all changed. It's like a shift. One's really warm and one's really cold. And the idea is that you get a little bit of symmetry, right? And that's what I mean by they're framed a little bit like a poem.
Wow, that is really cool. Hearing all that actually now makes me really want to get copies like for myself, because you've actually went a little bit deeper than what we normally hear as to how you tell a story. And a lot of people don't understand this, right? But there are so many other elements instead of just the drawings itself on how you can set the mood, the atmosphere, which you've been talking about. But there's also other things that you can do in the way how you use a panel, the thickness of your borders that can set the timing of your story. All these other elements in there that a lot of people don't use, right? And like you said, a lot of people have come up into Kickstarter. They want to do their own projects, they want to do their own comics, but they're writing it like a novel. They're so very descriptive, and that information is also in the art, right? So, and then they'll have it in like a narrative, so they're saying the same thing 3 different times on there, and you're going, whoa. When I'm reading this is like really ruining the pace, and the story, right? Because I don't need to know that 3 different ways. But you need to be able to merge all that, have it work all together, give that information out there in one form, and try to control the flow of that information. It's all a matter of like timing on what you put on the page, what you put on the next page, how you get the readers, the viewers to turn that page, right? And
you have a great point there, Mel, and it reminds me of something. We were talking about music earlier and how, in a sense, the songwriting process is somewhat similar to the regular writing process. And what I mean by that, like if you have a band together, let's say you got a lead guitarist and a vocalist and a bass player, there's always a section in each song where one person sort of shines right there, like they get their moment. Right?
Yes.
Well, when you're making your script for your comic book, there's going to be moments where there's the colorist really shines, or the layout, or the the penciling. Like give everybody their moment. And I would say this too: the writer, like I'm a big fan of silent panels. Like let the story breathe a little. Like if somebody just got bad news, show your character and they're just looking. They're not saying anything, just like it would be in real life.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. There's that pause in that moment. Let that information sink in. What is the depth, the impact of that information that you're bringing out there, right? And the other thing that I liked what you said earlier is that you have that moment too where you have that feelings come out there, right? Because it's just like in a song, okay? If you can connect with your readers, that emotion, you get that emotional contact, and they feel that, right? You're drawing them deeper into your story, right? And when you can have that emotional connection, it does a lot of things. People start to relate to it a whole lot more. They get really more interested in your story with that connection alone, right? And that's something I know that they look for with the singers and the writers in there. Where's that moment that you're going to make that connection? What is the message that you're trying to tell here? Are you making that connection? And those are things that that all come into play into writing a good story, right? So that's wonderful to hear. I'm definitely gonna probably place an order myself on that. Now, how many artists do you have working for you now?
When you say artists, you want me to put colorists in there too?
Of course.
Because if you include the full team that have worked on 140 pages worth, each story had its own team, and they do repeat a little bit, but it's essentially 3 rotating teams, which is 18 people. That's counting Martina, who Martina is the best, man. She's done a couple of brilliant covers, but I haven't got her on interiors yet.
Okay.
But I think she's done 2 covers or maybe 3 covers for us now, and I just love her.
Yeah, she's done this War Angels number 10 that she is doing for us that she just finished. That's going to be the 3rd cover that she does, and probably when I get the comps for that, I'm gonna be sending her share of comps as well. So she'll be getting all that, and I'm happy to give that to her because we do appreciate the work that she's done. So we have as much praise for her as you do. And the thing too is that when I actually found her online when she was like trying to promote herself, but she had a problem with her Facebook page, and I just couldn't connect to her. I remember. Dang, I like this girl's work, but I can't get in contact with her. Right. So I don't know. I think it was maybe a year later or so that connection got. She was able to get it corrected, and we were able to make that contact where she could do the initial cover for us, a trial cover run that we did for an exclusive cover. So that was great to do, and I'm glad to see that she is working on your stuff and for introducing us. Or else I would never. I don't know if I'd ever find you.
I'm really grateful. Weird. Thanks so much, Mel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm all over Facebook, and it's amazing that as much and as far as I go, I had not seen Water Wars, and so it was really amazing to look at that Kickstarter page when I initially did that. All right, so let's see who we got here. We got Ilya. Thanks, Ilya.
Hey, Ilya.
You got he recently got a package from us.
Thanks for waiting.
Thank you for that. And if anybody else is waiting to get a package from us from all the artwork that we've been putting out, you should be getting that this week because I've mailed everything out. Okay. If you need the tracking number, go ahead and hit me up, and I will give that to you as well. So thanks again for joining us. And Stevie B still has the bid on the Black Cat that Fung has worked on. It currently has a bid of $50, and we are looking for the next bid of that of $55. And we're still looking for an opening bid on Mog's piece, The Death Dealer, and on Ruben Rosas, The Age of Thoris, which is looking really sweet. Okay.
Can can you show us for Ilya so far what you've drawn
right now?
Mm-hmm. For people who just came on, yeah.
Okay. Very nice. You can see that.
Oh wow!
I can do color one if higher the price.
Face gorgeous.
Okay, but oh God, man, I'm losing it here. He also said that he knows of you and follows you as well, right? So
yeah, I do.
Right. Okay.
You want to know something? This is a true statement. I'm telling you. I follow Fong's projects, and she's actually on my list to call about number 5.
Oh, there you go.
There
see
you
that?
Right? What's something you gonna hire me?
I can.
So
yeah.
She's gonna. What he's saying is that he wants you to do some work for him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's letting you know that he will be contacting you in the very near future. Okay.
Yay.
I followed your other project. It was it's Fong Comics. I know that.
Yeah. That's my brand.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I thought that one looked great. It looked great.
All right. So let me ask you, Timothy, what is it about Fong's art that you liked?
I like the contrast between the thick black line and the thin black line. It has like a bold look to the characters.
Right. Yeah. And even myself, I do like it when an artist knows how to control the different line weights.
Yes.
And I don't just see, just the same line that's being used everywhere. But when you control those different line weights, that shows a very nice skill, because that will add weight or no weight, or the way how you show the lighting on there. Those are great ways on how to control that. Right. So you got a good compliment there, Fong. Right. And you got some work coming your way, so congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that'll encourage you to be on our show and not be so afraid to come on. So we're happy to have you here. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. So anyway, we also have those War Angel omnibus trades. If anybody wants that, you can just go ahead and claim those for $40. Don't forget to put in # EXP SketchUp. We'll get to those giveaways, and we'll show you what all that is when we come back after this break, right? So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
There's a comic book universe on the streets of Cleveland. Hero Tomorrow Comics is debuting
Violante, the Undead.
Get the new issue or the entire acclaimed library live on Kickstarter.
I'm coming for you, Cleveland.
Details at clevelandsuperhero.com.
Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
All right, welcome back to SketchUp. You're watching us on the YouTube channel, The Experience. We have Timothy B. Fling with us here tonight. We're looking at Water Wars 2288, and in the back we also have Mog Park, of course, my beautiful co-host, Ruben Rosas, and Fung Fung, who's here for the very first time. Okay. Now, Timothy, you had also mentioned that you had some like art pages that you wouldn't mind showing and putting up. Is that correct?
Yes, I actually have them. Let me grab. You want me to show them like this, or
yeah, you can just show them.
I can show you I can show you the file on the screen too, if that's better.
Whatever works best for you.
It might be because I think they'll look more impressive if I do it like this. Let me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm very curious to see this with the wonderful team of artists that you've put together there.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. You know, I'd worked with a couple of nice people, but when I worked with Renan, he actually sent me all the pages, or a significant portion of the pages. So that is cool. It doesn't happen very often, you know.
So this is Erwin. Is he the Brazilian guy?
Well, no, Erwin, his work is all digital.
Okay. No. I was wondering because you did mention a Brazilian artist. So I thought is that Erwin?
Oh, this is Renan Shodi.
Oh, Renan. Okay.
And we do have a bid from Ilya for $60 on the Black Cat from Fung Fung. So we are now looking for a bid of 65 or higher on that. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Ilya.
I got two ready.
And Ruben and Mog is still looking for an opening bid of 75. And
hey, Ruben, are you thinking of coloring your Digithaurus or just inking it for now?
I'm gonna add some color too.
Nice.
Okay, you hear that? Ruben's going to add some color to his, so he's looking for an opening bid of 75 still. All right, so what are we looking into here?
What we're seeing there, this is one of the splash pages from Water Wars #3, which is, it's okay to spill it out. This is going to be published next year by Antarctic Press, but it's available now over here at Earth Dog Studios. This is actually the Kickstarter from July of last year, roughly, something like that. But
how many Kickstarters have you been putting out a year?
My best year was 3. I have, but the first year was fast because I had the stuff stacked up. But I'm at 7 successful right now, and this one is tracking to be my best one. Hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah. And and this page is for sale?
It is, and what I've been doing is selling some collector's packages, and it would be this plus all the covers. I think it's $268 on the Kickstarter.
Oh wow! So you get this page plus all the covers.
Correct.
That's on the Kickstarter.
Correct.
For $268.
Correct.
Wow.
Wow.
And some of these are published pieces. And let me see if I can drum up the while we're talking. There's one was the cover of Planet Comics. So I've got a. So we are talking about some published material, you know.
And that's a big bonus.
Well, and we do cater to the collector a little bit. Like I say, it's trying to make it cool to be a comic collector again. You know?
Okay. And you do have an interesting thing that you're doing on your Kickstarter that I don't see too much, but we'll get to that in a moment. So $268 plus all the covers for that splash page of issue #3.
Yeah.
Right, so if you want that, guys, head over to that Kickstarter and put it in, back it up.
Pretty cool one.
Okay. It says it's already fully funded.
You might want to see this one too. One sec.
Go ahead.
Tab instead. I got that page too, which it's a stone cold stunner. Let me see if I can.
Well, let's see that page. Okay. And while you're trying to pull that out, I'm just going to be kind of like talking a little bit more here on some of the other things you got going, right? So you do offer a CGC tier, and what is also interesting that you've got a retailer tier, a very, I'm going to have to say a very competitive retailer tier. A lot of times I see the retailer tier and I just don't think it's worth it. Okay, but yours, I think, is very worth it, right? With the retailer tier, if you're a retailer out there, I honestly believe this is a great package deal.
Yeah, mine is what they call a lost looter.
A lost leader, yes.
Lost leader. It's because I got to get into stores.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. A lot of people think, well, you know, I want to make my profit off this retailer tier. They can kind of take care of that marketing themselves, getting your book into the hands of other possible collectors, readers that may not see your book on the Kickstarter, right? At least in there, you know, they get a hands-on physical look on it. They can like flip through it if they want. But in this tier, you get 10 trade paperbacks, 10 maps, 10 Chrome cards, 10 copies of Water Wars floppy of the dealer's choice. That's a deal. Okay.
Yeah.
That you know, the retailers can definitely make some money off of this tier. Not like some of these where I see it, you know, they're giving like 10 and it's like $500-600. I'm going, you're going to have to sell these books for like $50, $60, $70 a piece just to try and make some profit off of it. And at the local comic book shop, that's pretty high compared to the cover price books that they're already carrying, that some are complaining about. They're hitting like the $5, $6, $7 range now in cover prices. And now you're trying to sell this to the retailer. I was a retailer myself. I had my own stores, several of them, for about like 16 years before I closed them down, right before I met Mog. And so I do believe that I can speak of this and side on the retailers and say that this definitely is a fair deal.
Yeah.
More fair than what you would normally see out there, at least from what I've seen out there.
Retailing is already difficult.
Right. Well, on the retail side, you should wholesale the books to the retailers, right? Because they're the ones that kind of also need to make the money, right? So normally the rule of thumb is that you're marking up like 10-15% above your costs, right? But I want to get to this other thing that I saw here on the Kickstarter. Right? It's something I don't see too much of, but I actually looked at a place that actually does this, and I really like the effect of it. And it is this. Let's see, where is it here?
I think Ilya asked now, while you do that, can you make the art larger? Ilya, are you talking about the Kickstarter page?
Yeah, York, PA isn't that far. Ilya, you know where York is, huh? Yeah, let me see if I can blow this art up a little bit. Let's try that.
Yeah, well, you're putting that up, but I wanted to say the engraved wood etching.
Oh, sure.
You're offering, in your Kickstarter. And if you have a better look at that, that would be cool too.
Oh, I do actually. Let me get a good photo of that.
But laser etching is not new. Okay, it's been around for a while, right? But to see it taking like the pencils from a comic book and then putting it on there is fantastic, especially if that that art piece has a lot of like intricate details, right? And you'll see that on here, right? It is an amazing work of art. And you've got a deluxe collector set that's $58 that has you both the graphic novels, 2288 and Chronicles. Yeah. And with included with that is a laser engraved wood etching and a full trading card set.
Right.
That's a loaded set.
You see what I'm trying to do is that, right. And from the marketing viewpoint, there's something different in this one that I'm trying to make my money in the volume and to increase my output. So for the collectors who are going to go to plus $50, they get all the good stuff. They get all of it.
Yeah. I have to say some of the reward packages that you've put together here is really great because you can tell that the money is not too important. You definitely want to make a profit and stay above your costs, but you're more concerned. The feeling that I get is just trying to get this out there into the hands of the readers and collectors out there. So
right.
I am feeling that, right? Because cause it's not uncommon that you'll see a Kickstarter. They'll put like some of their collector trades they're like $40 already. You've got two in here, plus a card set and the laser etching for $58. Man.
The 2-book set, if you don't want the cards and the wood, $44. I think that's
just by that alone, so
because that still comes with the map and the card and the mini print.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, but by the way,
you guys need to come get on this Kickstarter, back this puppy up. You're gonna get a great story from what I've heard so far. And a great reward set as well.
So Tim, like, do you have a larger file of that original that you're giving away? Because I think Ilya actually did confirm he would have liked to see the black and white.
The big one?
Yeah, the 250. Because I think he was talking about that where he said, "Can you make the do you have a larger
digital
picture of that?"
Okay, digital of the 2-page spread. Okay,
that you're selling it for. I think the 250 bundle, right? 250.
Yeah, 268. You mean?
Coming right up.
268. Sorry. Yeah.
Before I do that, if I could just show Mel this because I think he might like it.
Oh yeah, show me. Yeah.
Do you see? Let's see. Yeah, that's the black and white renders for the Terramorph. That's an Irwin cover. I think that came out so cool.
That did.
That is so cool.
Look at that. Okay.
And by the way, that had turned up in another form that is actually published out there in the world too, without this cover. But the interior pages are part of Travis Gibbs' Tales from the Collective Initiative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah, so I had a short story in that book. But the great thing is, it actually is a Water Wars story, so it fits in my anthology. So it's of course, the rights are still mine, so now my folks get to see it.
Right. Yeah, well, it's just another way in how you can get your material out there, and hopefully the people that read that in Travis's book will like it enough to look you up and find out what else you do. So it's definitely a great move.
Yeah, thanks. That is the total plan.
Yeah, you got to spread the word out there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see where you guys are at right now, because that looks like there's a lot more work on that Deja Thoris. Let's take a look at that, Ruben.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting a little bit on that.
We are still looking for an opening bid of 75.
Wow, that looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Starting with great tunes, but I'm finding out it's not a great cover to maybe add colors, so I might keep it at the warm grays.
There you go.
Can you show us the cleavage part? Because you do great cleavage.
It's a family show.
Oh, is it? Oh, what? Yeah. You didn't show? Oh my god.
And okay, yeah, and there's a reason why Ruben is a comics elite artist. Okay, so pay attention to that. We're still looking for a bid, an opening bid of 75 on that, as he continues to work on that and later color it in a short while. Let's see what Mog has there. Okay, she's
putting the shadows
a little bit. Okay.
Oh man, I love that.
Lifting out a bit. Okay. And you see some of the detail work that she's putting in there, popping that out a little bit. We are still looking for an opening bid on that for 75, so that is still open. Okay.
Are you gonna just ink it or color it, Mog?
I want to color it.
You want to color it?
Like Rosetta style?
All right.
Send
me a photo when you're done. I want to see it.
I know, it's going to look awesome.
To do all that, though.
It's actually fantastic. Because I do have to prepare for February, right?
Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's take a look at Fung.
Long way away.
Let's take a look at our black cat, see where it stands now.
We'll come back. I just want to. Yeah, trying to do the color right now.
Okay.
Nice.
Very good. That's coming out.
Making
very impressive.
Final touch for it.
She's got some jewels in her hand there. Fresh from her theft. Okay. All right. So she already has a bid of $60 on that. So we are looking for the next bid of 65 or better on that. Okay. Don't forget to put in #EXP SketchUp. And we still have 2 copies of the War Angels Omnibus, over 200 pages in that book, with the cover from Mog Park and colors by Martina Rossi. Okay, so get used to that name, especially if you're going to be following War Angels and Water Wars 2288. Okay, she is a very good color, so we will definitely see more of her. Right?
I wonder why Water Wars, because the water is scarce in the world.
Yeah, it is basically the basic premises is that people are fighting over water,
and which is a very interesting topic. There are water shortages that are beginning to happen now across the world in different parts.
Yeah, potentially a very real thing.
It is, but it hasn't really set into reality with a majority of people yet. But man, for me, I'm aware of it, and I'm scared of it. To see like what comes. But anyway. So,
it is. The villain is Nestle. It's. I don't mind answering this question. In my stories, the government is the villain.
Yeah, right. And not everybody knows that the story about Nestle, but that's going to be interesting. But it's not just us. There's a lot of factors into this that's impacting what's going on.
The company Nestle is doing something bad.
Well, they've been doing something bad for a
buying
while.
up fresh water sources and charging premium amounts for access to the fresh water.
Right,
What?
right. Yeah. And if you're going to go ahead and mention it, and it's also the way how they've just been like bottling it up and selling it back to us at a premium.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and basically they were saying that it's basically just tap water that they're selling to you in their bottled water. So very easy resource there to just fill the bottles with. But anyway, that's not what this show is about. And we're not going to get into that because that's going to open up a whole bag of worms. And you don't want to get me started on that. All right. So we're going to get back into this with the Kickstarter here. And like, I'm just really happy to have Timothy here and look at that, man. That is some beautiful artwork right there. Right. So what is in the future for Earth Dog Studios and Water Wars 2288?
Well, thank you for asking, Mel. We had a pretty good year, and by a good year, I mean, there was 2 successful Kickstarters, and 2 while that was happening. I always call it a double down. While one thing is successful, start another one, right? So the one was the launch of a new IP, which that was Call of the Cryptid, which is a cryptid-based visual adventure. We're not really pitching that too much tonight because we're talking about my Kickstarter, but that was a very successful launch for us. Number 2 is going to come out in February.
All right.
If you like monsters, aliens, UFOs, that's your book. Okay.
Okay. There's another thing that we can get into, but we won't do that either. All right. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check out Timothy's website at earthdogstudios.com. And check out his other sites as well on TikTok. And what was the other one now?
I have a YouTube channel too.
And YouTube, there you go. Right. And you can find him under
Earth Dog Studios, or the easiest way, I'm at Timothy Fling.
There you go. Okay. And we'll be showing that at the end of the show too with the credits page. So you'll be able to grab that information real quick.
I do have, you mentioned for next year, I do have Water Wars 5 in production. And if you like, I'll show you the first super secret color preview.
Definitely down for that.
So, Tim, while you try to find it, can you tell me what inspired you? What were you watching something that made you think, water is like the new gold? Let me make a war story out of this. Like, what?
Well, that's a really good question, and I would say, yeah, that was true a little bit. I was reading a book about, it was about climate disasters. And one of them was a situation where in the United States, all the fresh water had dried up. And of course, gangs and stuff were starting to organize. And I thought, wow, what if that went to the next step? And then the government had to try and stop the gangs. And one of the things we also tried to do in the Water Wars series, the water fights are just the basis of it. Like, it's still apocalyptic, like all the other bad things are happening too. One reviewer said, I thought he said it a great way. He said, all the dystopias are happening at once because there's a pandemic. They're chasing her because she's got this DNA immunity. There's giant insects because the oxygen has increased in the atmosphere. So they're growing to this giant size. There's monsters because of the genetic experiments. It's very sci-fi and very Blade Runner. There's a lot in it.
Wow. So it seems like all the disaster was human induced.
Well, I guess there's a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? There's also, it starts with sort of a war between the human and the robots. And one of the very first things that happens is they detonate a mine under the Earth's crust, and the oceans roll over the East Coast. So the East Coast is underwater in our book.
Oh.
Wow. Now, how much research did you do on this to set up this world that your stories take place in?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should tell you, they were written first as short stories, and I never really got a lot of traction as a short story writer. It didn't really click. And of course, that's a different path, right? You submit for magazines and that kind of thing. So I said, hey, what if I took a crack at getting these illustrated, like what they would call a graphic novel, because they're not particularly very superhero-ish. You noticed about these stories. And I'm so glad that you mentioned being a fan of heavy metal, because if you like that magazine, it actually says it in our tagline. If you like Y the Last Man or heavy metal, you'll like Water Wars 2288. Do you like Y the Last Man?
Personally, not as much as a lot of people like it, right? But there is a lot from what I've seen in the Kickstarter that I do like, that I can relate to, like from other things. And of course, a lot of it has to do with what I used to read in heavy metal.
Right, right. Well, in each short story, it's not all, there's some variety. Like it's not always about the same character in the next chapter. Sometimes it switches over to a different character and something's terrible is happening to her over there. You know what I mean? It's like, it's episodic.
Yeah, and which is kind of good because it gives you that room to develop those stories and those characters, and yet offering like a different flavor to your readers, right? To give them like a taste of this and that, as to like what's happening in this world, right? And the things that they gotta deal with. And so I find that like very interesting. Plus the fact that it's dealing with water, right? Which is something that's current right now to deal with. Stevie B writes, "We best run and hide." I'm not sure what that
what
you're referring to.
He's killing us off. Yeah.
Who's killing you off? That is kind of interesting. All right, so I want to show what we've got for the giveaways. We have 3 of them tonight. If you can bring those up, JD. Okay, there's the first one. So tell us about this one, Timothy.
With this book here, this is the Water Wars Chronicles. This is 108 pages, and it is 3 short stories by myself and Erwin Arose. Excuse me, that's 5 short stories in that one. So it's lovely. I think you'd really like it. It's one of the books that we are the most proud of. It's actually, I got one right here in my hands. This is the Chrome logo one. If you want to show the Chrome.
Right. Okay.
And it is a wraparound cover.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
And this book is beautiful. It's beautiful.
That is.
We even have like little frontispieces on each page where he did like a little illustration.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's something like you see like in a novel. Kind of gives it a little break to breathe. And
this one was also, you could have been drawn in. Look at some of these likenesses.
That's great.
You're great likenesses. It looks just like the guys. So that is one of the giveaways. It's a beautiful product. I hope you love it.
That's one of the giveaways. And the next giveaway is this beautiful set. You can bring that up, JD, and then Timothy can tell us about that one.
Basically, you got a cover set here. It's Hunchback, Call of the Cryptid, Water Wars 2288 number 3, and a collection of Erwin covers that were available through the Kickstarter. Essentially, these were all the covers that were kind of special in some way. For example, that one in the bottom right is a printable hollow foil. It's like a shiny yellow one.
Wow. Okay.
Tell you what, I got one of those if you want to see the shimmer. I think I can do that in the
Sure.
light.
Yeah.
See how it's like a little shiny?
Oh, okay. And that's part of that collector set there, right? So guys,
that's a cool one.
Unsigned EXP SketchUp. Get that into the comments so that way you'll have a chance to win this beautiful set or the Chronicles set. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. I want that. Can I type in my name?
It's a pretty one. It's a pretty one.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. And now the third thing that we're going to be giving away is from Mog. Okay. 11 by 17. This is a print. It's not the original. Okay.
Oh.
But but it is. This is what we're giving away tonight from Mog, right? 11 by 17 pencils of the War Angel Omnibus cover. Okay, and we still have 2 of those available at $40. So if you want that, go ahead and claim it in the comments, and we will get that to you. Don't forget, if you are the winner of anything tonight or a claim, fill out that magic form and make sure you state in there exactly what it is that you got, so we can get that to you and send that information to the correct artists as well, or whoever that belongs to. It could be Timothy for the giveaways. Okay, and there you have that. That's right there. JD's got it in there now.
It's pretty.
And don't forget, Mog also has. Give her a little plug here. She still has her Kickstarter live on the Ninja Witch, which is going to be ending tomorrow. Right? It's already. Also on Kickstarter is CB's Into the Suck, his collected trade paperback, which is also featuring a double-page spread of Mog's painted work. So you can go ahead and check that also. And Ruxy the Vampire is still up on Indiegogo from our good friend, what's his name, Mog?
Kurt
Zauer. Okay, who also does Spectres and Sabanian, which Mog is the regular cover on that. So that's there, and Spectres and Sabanian, you'll be seeing that next month. Okay, so the next issue will be out, and Mog will be doing a cover for that on issue number 5. And they're going back to print issue number 1, and Mog has been called to do the cover for that because that's one of the covers that she did not do. She started on issue number 2, so doing that you'll be able to get a complete run of Mog covers for Spectres and Sabanian.
And by the way, like for the Spectres and Savanian, I did a tarot card format. So anybody who reads tarot, you can actually use it as a tarot. It's a 2-in-1 function, a book cover and a tarot. So yes.
And we love those. We love the covers that she's done. Even Kurt has asked us to buy them, but we're just not ready to let those go unless you've got the pocket deep enough to cover that. You can contact us if you want to give you a shot at it.
Yeah.
So Timothy, I see that you've got like a slew of cons that you attend to out there on the East Coast.
Yes.
What's your first con that you're going to be doing?
You know what? There's one in Hagerstown, Maryland called the 4-State, which is going to be coming up in April. I think that's the first booked one. But generally, I'm in sort of like a ring in the Pennsylvania, Ohio area. So for me, that is Baltimore, Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Hershey, and there's a couple of smaller ones right close to Baltimore, like Hagerstown, Laurel. I do a couple of those. So I'll probably do 10 next year.
You're in that area where it's easy to get to all those, fairly easy to get to in those cons. And that's what I'm jealous about because from there to like New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, that area easily. And I know people that they can just take the train to go do those shows, so it's very, very nice to have that kind of transportation if that's what you so choose. All right, let's see, JD's asking, have you ever been to Fantasticon in Toledo?
I haven't. I've heard it's good though.
Where's Toledo?
Toledo, Ohio.
Ohio? Okay.
And then there's I've heard good things of the Terrificon up in Connecticut. Do you go that far?
No, but I did have a conversation with Matt. Isn't that his name? For Terrificon? Oh, excuse me, Mitch. His name's Mitch.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get in there this year. Mitch Haller.
Yeah. How about have you thought about going to Heroes Con? That's not too far from you, is it? Out in Charlotte?
It's a little bit of a hike, but I'd love to go to that one. I'll tell you, the new thing that I'm working on now is I'm trying to get invited into cons as a guest.
I hear you. Of course, that's the way to go. And we're fortunate that because of the work that Mog has, that we are a guest at many of the shows. About like 90% of them we're a guest. So we're lucky to have that. We'd like them to cover more, but hey, I'm not gonna, I'm happy to get what I can get,
That's what I've been doing. All the ones I just mentioned, I started doing this thing where I just said, look, hey, I want to be a guest. I reach out to everybody and start having a conversation. It's not really economically feasible to rent them all as tables.
No, it is very hard. If I had to pay for all the tables there, I don't think we'd probably be only doing like a handful of shows. But even like with that said, as I had mentioned earlier, I'm actually trying to cut down on my own personal travel time. I'll send Mog out there. She did the Maui Con this past weekend by herself, which she rarely does a con by herself. In fact, that's only the second time that she's done it out of the 8 years that we've been doing this now, and she did really well. I'm very, very proud of her. And so Ilya is asking, can you show the art again?
Yeah, Tim, remember you're going to show us the...
Oh, which one? The double page spread?
Yeah, the double spread. That's the $268 package.
Ready.
Okay.
Here it comes. Take a look, Ilya.
A little bit.
268. Boom.
Wow. I love that full body shot. It's
nice
so
action page.
Yeah.
So she's like part cyborg, right?
I don't know Tom Scioli. I don't think I know him. Oh, I'm sorry, Mog, to answer your question. Yeah, this is our character here. This is Phaedra 5. She is the partially assembled guardian. She's a cyborg woman, but she looks like sort of like a mummy. Like she's not quite finished being made, and she has to rush out into the world.
Wow.
And who's the artist on this?
This one is Renan Shoddy.
Okay. And I got to say, I love the way how he did the panels there. Even though it may look like a little bit scattered, but I can tell that he's actually controlling on how the viewers, he's actually leading the viewer's eye through this. And I
it's similar
really
to a little
love
bit
the way how he did that. Okay.
I 100% agree, Mel.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. He's done a terrific job for us. And, I'm honored to work with some of these people. I don't know how I talked them into working with me.
But also, the trick is it's easy to talk an artist in, but also like if you are a good team player, it's about you're keeping them for long term. That's actually for me the true testimony. So you must have learned something when you were doing as a musician back in the days. Maybe people skill. I don't know what you learned. I would like to know.
I think you might be right that there's a teamwork skill that is critical, that is similar to being in a band as in being in a production team.
Right. There's because you're developing a relationship and a synergy to be able to work together. And
artist comment.
Okay, so JD is writing. Also, all artists are inherently lazy, so you have to keep them motivated with coffee and praise.
Actually,
let's not get into
look like laziness, but it's not.
I do have that secret preview ready too, if you want to show.
Let's see that.
Okay. And you mentioned about working with a consistent team. This is the work of David Dion. He did number 2 and number 4. And this one, it's a new character. And essentially what she's doing, she's working on another planet as a miner with this highly caustic substance. Mm-hmm. And she is a mechanical female. And it's a very moving story, and I hope people like it. And I just loved the color palette when I saw it. Oh, and I got to give him a shout out. I'm sorry, that's Mr. Angel Road from Mexico.
Ah, okay. And then CDB writes, wanted to up the bid on Fung Fung since I don't have any of her work. But Mog and Ruben are making it tough to decide tonight. Curse you, Mel. And you're a fantastic guy.
Oh my God.
All right.
Did we go to the next? Is this like the next day? Time lapse? Did we just have a time travel?
Yes.
All right, take a look at that. Okay.
Super art, and I'm gonna do the final ink to get the details more clear. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Sven, how much do you usually charge for a commission piece like that?
This one?
Yeah,
if I do it at home, I take more time.
Yeah.
If I drew like one day or a week, it depends. Yeah. If I drew like a week, so maybe 300, 500.
Okay, 300 to 500.
It's a quick one. You can tell it's not detailed now. I can do like this quality. It's like take a week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, stuff like that.
All right, so you like her work. $60, you're getting away cheap.
That's way too cheap.
Right? Bid that up. Okay.
For $4? Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I'm gonna hire Fung Fung.
He just placed a bid on $75 on Fung. So it's going up.
Yeah, there you go.
I just send you a note. I just send you a note.
Okay.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
just
I will
sent you a
read
note as
after
well.
the show.
All right. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Tim, for supporting.
Okay. And we still have time. We still have a little bit of time where you can go ahead and place that bid.
Okay. Working on the final.
Get into the last segment of our show, and then we're going to do the giveaway shortly once we come back.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap this up and see where everybody stands here.
Exactly.
Steve Vanetta writes, Tom Sawyer's work includes Godland from Image, the Myth of Eight Opus, that he self-published and self-admitted Kirby copyist. And it's
Steve, I am familiar with it. I do know who you're talking about.
There you go. All right, so again,
really good.
And he also Ilya says that frame picture is amazingly good, Fung Fung. Okay,
it is.
There you go. All right, so you've seen her first here on SketchUp. Don't go away. We'll be right back to wrap everything up here tonight.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Welcome back to SketchUp. We have Timothy B. Fling here, and we've been talking Water Wars 2288, and we've been showing Fung Fung and Ruben Rosas, and of course we've got Mog Park. Right, we are still looking for an opening bid on Mog's Death Dealer and Ruben's Deja Thoris of 75. We already have a bid of 75 from on Fung Fung's work from Stevie B. Thank you for that. We are now looking for a higher bid of $80 or more on that, so go ahead and bid that up. Normally she charges $300 for a commission. 75, you're still way low there, okay? And you're getting a great piece of work. Well, we'll be reviewing that again in a moment. We also still have the War Angels omnibus that's available at $40. There it is. Okay, that's over 200 pages of story in that book, and it is a worthy piece of
looks great.
Is that the one now? Is that the one that's pre-signed by the author?
Yes. Okay, I forgot to say
that's not a normal copy. It's actually a limited copy. So there's a number inside. And out of only 10.
Oh, it's. I think it's like more than that. But that's why I was saying that this book is pretty much no longer available. Okay, there might be like a few left with Christopher Brian Dorsey, and then we have 2 available. Okay,
yeah, only 2.
And the rest that we have, we're keeping, and we're going to send one to Martina Rossi. That'll be her own personal copy as well, which we'll sign, and hopefully one day we'll be able to meet up with Martina and get her signature on our copies. All right, so that would be a good thing that I look forward to doing. Hopefully we get on the East Coast and we get the chance to meet Timothy as well and see Rob again. So we've got that going. Don't forget to put in # EXP SketchUp. Thank you, Ilya. He claims one of the omnibus. Thank you very much for that. So now we only have like 1 left. Mog will go ahead and sign that, and we will send that off to you.
Nice.
Okay, so thank you for that. We're still looking for a bid on Deja Thoris and on the Death Dealer. Okay, so if you guys are interested in that, you've got a few more moments to get in there. All right, and let's see, it is 8:41. Okay, at about 8:50, we'll start doing the drawings and wrap it up and see who's got what. Don't forget to fill out that magic form, so that way we know where to send all this, and everybody will know where to collect the funds from. Okay, and there we go. Don't forget also to check out Timothy B. Fling's Kickstarter. We've been talking about it all night long. Water Wars 2288. I'm in love with what I see there, and I will definitely be getting in contact with him after the show.
Thanks so much. Thank you really
so much. Yeah, if you like heavy metal, right, you definitely want to check this out because I know I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see it. Actually, I have a question for Tim. Do you, in the future, maybe think about doing a manga style because of how popular it is, and it seems to really target the just overall.
The easy answer to that question is yes, right? Because I think that when something's really popular, you at least have to take a look at it. And I would say what I would do, thank you for sharing the link, sir. I appreciate that. I guess I would say it like this. Do you remember Into the Spider-Verse where there was one version that there was like a manga version for the Spider-Man series?
Yeah. The girl, the Sakura, I think is what she was called.
Yeah, maybe something a little bit like that, where it is the existing character and it is the existing world, but Mog, the interpretation of it would be manga style.
I would love that because you're the only other guy who who's that guy now who?
What's that?
Phil Rusted.
Oh yeah, I know Phil.
Yeah, he was the one who decided to do manga style as well. So he was super.
He's not the only one, and so like.
Well, and I want to add too, Mog. Man, for the manga, you really got to have the right artist.
Yeah, that's.
I want to do manga style.
You want to do it? You want to draw it? You and I'll make a story.
I'm going to tell you. Every time I work with a comic artist, I have to do quite a bit of redos because they'll say it's a bit too manga-like. I guess because I grew up in the East world anyway. I grew up there. So my my influence from the manga is so big. I just have to keep on like, okay, put this headgear on, say. Comics style, So manga will come really natural. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, you may have to repeat, Mog, because it froze for a while.
Froze on a second.
I do both.
Oh, I froze.
But Mog did start out when she came out. She was actually doing a manga style, and she actually got into
Tokyo Pop. You remember Tokyo Pop? Right. They hired to do a story.
Right. They had a contest. They were running a contest every year where people could submit a story, and if you were good enough, you got in. You could get into you make this top 20 list, right? and Mog actually got into that. Okay. And then I think they shortened it down to like the maybe top 5, and then they would go ahead and produce that. Now, she didn't make it into the final cut, but there was an editor there that really liked her work. And so she contacted Mog and said, hey, I want to work with you on a story. But unfortunately, that never got developed because they had gone out of business. So, yeah, that was just the sad part of that. It just didn't come to fruition, right? But after that, she shortly landed Game of Thrones. So in a way, it was kind of good in that way.
Well, then Mog and I will work on a manga together. She can draw it. Yes. I'll write it. And Fong will put the cover on it.
There you go. Okay. Woohoo! So yeah, you can contact this group.
Working later. In the manga style at a Chinese company for so many years. I just tired of drawing the same face every day. I like it with some America culture because they put the different phrase. It's more unique. But since I'm here, I feel like manga style is more popular. It's kind of weird.
Well, so, yeah, it's on the up. I think that's like another well, I want to say controversy, right? But the way how people look at the American market today, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm wondering if they're looking at it correctly. Okay. But however, we've only got like a few.
Is the story, no matter what kind of story.
Yes,
style you use.
I totally agree. Yes, it's the story.
All right, we got $100 bid on Fung from Ilya.
Yes,
okay,
good job, Ilya.
Nice.
Good job.
Stevie B writes, Mel has his crayons so he can color it. Buddy, okay, I'm glad you brought that up, all right? Because next week on SketchUp, we're actually going to have an art jam, okay? This is the first time that anybody's hearing this, okay? But I've just secured Justin Hunt, Jen Leonard, Dan Barlow, plus Bill Mouse, or if you know who that is, and Bill McKay to be on the show next week as we have an art jam. So what that basically means, we're just going to be talking whatever we want, right? While they draw, and you guys can bid on their artwork, okay? So I put together a pretty good crew of artists that'll be here, right? So that's how we're going to celebrate the holidays, because that's going to be December 21, 4 days before Christmas, okay? So we're going to celebrate that day, and you guys can come in and join us for this art jam, okay? I don't know what everybody's going to be drawing, okay? And I don't know what the bids are. You'll find all that out as I do, okay? Because I'm not going to ask for any of that information until the show starts, okay? And, right, that's 5 slaps in there, right? Plus you have Mog Park, all right? And we're going to make this a lucky 7. You know who the 7th artist is going to be? Yours truly, buddy, okay? I'm busting out the crayons, and I'm coloring one of Mog's pieces. I might even do 2. If I'm motivated enough. It all depends how much eggnog I get that night. You know what I mean?
What? Dude, I actually wouldn't be surprised, Mel, if you get a higher bid than me.
It has happened. Okay. Surprisingly enough, it has happened. Okay. So that's why Mog is saying that.
But anyway, back to what Fang you said. It doesn't matter what style is the story. And before you said that you
the story is the key.
Yeah, you said you wanted to do
I
more
used to
comic
draw
style?
manga style for a long time, but the story makes me feel like there's no future in the creation part.
Exactly, right? So I was thinking.
So I'm here trying to pursue, my dream variety. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we're running out of time. And so at this time, well, we're going to do the giveaways. Okay, so currently right now we have a claim on One War Angel Omnibus. That's from Ilya.
Ilya, thank you.
For $40. We have one more left. He also has the high bid on Fang Fang's piece at $100. Okay, so if you want to bid on that, we are now looking for a bid of 105 or better. And we're still looking for a bid on Mog's and Ruben's piece of 75. So the first piece that we're going to roll up on, let's do the War Angel pencil print there, JD. We'll do that one first here. And here we go. We're getting to roll it. And where she stops, nobody knows. If you still haven't yet, you still have time to put in # EXP
Ilya!
up. And Ilya is cleaning up tonight. He's got the winner of Mog's pencil print. He's the winning bid on Fang Fang's piece so far. And he's picked up a War Angel omnibus. Boy, this guy is looking good for Christmas. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to roll the for the Water Wars Chronicles cover piece here. And that's a beautiful piece.
I know.
I like that cover.
It's beautiful.
The stories are good too, I promise.
I'm gonna take your word for it, but I'm also planning to get my own copy. Stevie Vendetta.
Congrats, Steve. Congratulations.
Your magic is back. Before Steve Vendetta kept winning, it's back.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy is doing on that. Okay, congratulations, Steve. You've won again, you lucky dog. Okay. And here we go for the big giveaway tonight.
The big
8
one.
books right here, including that special cover.
No.
Dun, dun. Kenneth Bird.
Kenneth.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you can't win unless you put in the # EXP SketchUp. Look at that special chromium shiny cover. If you're not in the shinies, you can pass that on to us if you don't want that. But you can tell that Mog wants that. Yeah,
I really want that.
On that. Okay. Well, we got 115 on Fung Fung from Stevie B. That is continuing to climb on there. Thank you guys very much for that. Don't forget to fill out that form. Register it there, as JD says in the comments. Go ahead. And we are almost out of time. We've got about 2 minutes left. Timothy, any final words, buddy?
7 minutes, it says.
I want to say thanks so much for having me on the show. It was great to meet you guys. It's an honor. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mog. Thank you, Fang Fang. I'll be talking to you in the future. Those of you listening, please go to Kickstarter right now and support Water Wars 2288. It's a great book, I promise.
All right,
and by the way, Mel, remember how he was Ilya was saying he's killing us, right? He meant Tim, because in the story, East Coast is collapsed under all the water. And Ilya lives in East Coast. So, you get it?
Okay.
East Coast people are killing.
We've got about a minute left, okay? But right now, Ilya snuck in a bid of 125 on Fung Fung's Black Cat.
Big one.
In the climb out there. Show that piece one more time, Fung Fung.
Come on.
Get these guys motivated to put in a more of a bid there.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
All right. Let's see what you guys got to in the closing minutes here before we wrap it up. Ruben, let's see your piece.
Here it is. As always, great hanging out with everyone. Great meeting everybody new.
Ruben.
Wow, Ruben, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Sorry. You are the dark horse.
And we do have a bid of 150 now from Ilya for Fung Fung. Okay, that's continuing up there. Still looking for a bid on Mog and Rubens for 75.
It's okay.
And Stevie B surrenders to Ilya. He's going to save his money for next week. Enjoy the Fung Fung work.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. That's great. And we had some great giveaways. I want to thank you, everybody, for being on the show tonight. And that is going to conclude tonight's episode of SketchUp. 150 on the Black Cat. No bids on the Death Dealer.
Yes.
And the Deja Thoris. and we got one of the War Angels claim. All right, so don't forget, next week it is going to be an art jam where we have Bill Mouse, Bill McKay, Justin Hart, Jen Leonard, and Dan Barlow. Okay, so we've got a slew of artists that are going to be here next week. Plus, of course, Mog Park and myself will be contributing to that as well. Thank you. Yeah, Mog, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Steve, remember you said Frazetta would be proud? In fact, I did a collection of some of his studies, and I posted it. And the Frazetta girls and the museum responded and said they liked it. So
yeah, she got improved from the Frazetta girls on that. All right, so time is up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Timothy, we will have you back again, I promise.
I'd love to, man. I'd love to. This is a great show, and thanks for letting me be part of it.
Oh, we enjoyed having you.
Hey, and we will listen. We're going to make some deals here, and maybe we can show it on the air sometime or something like that.
We definitely will work on that. Fung, I'm glad you came on. Hopefully, you won't be afraid anymore to come on. Glad you made like a little bit of money. Ruben, buddy, I'm always happy to have you here. And Mog, I'll be talking to you later. Good night, everyone. You guys have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone. Stay safe out there.
Take care.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.